we are going to introduce the different elements of the game. The first element are the events cards. At the beginning of each day, we'll show the first of these cards that will tell us what is happening today in that area. It can have a positive or negative effect and affects all the players. Special abilities or special powers. Each species has their own 4 unique abilities according to their own game style. We'll choose one between them at the beginning of each day, depending on our intentions and strategy. There are some that can be used always that the effect describes on the card takes place, and the ones with a charge symbol only can be used if we spend a charge. Player's board. Each player has its own board that is a representation of their spaceships or silos. There is an area to place each resource, the either or the charges. We'll put our troops on the PC image. Also, it shows our hero ability depending on the species we have combat and extraction abilities, red or green symbols. The troops. Each species has a total of 10 units and 1 hero. Unit dice can go from 0 to 3 points. We'll be able to enhance or power up our units, improving their probability of success using the special abilities or the ethereal favors cards. The hero is the strongest of our troops. He can die and has his own ability. If the hero gets a charge symbol on his roll, depending on the situation, the hero ability will take place. His presence produces combat or domination. Proteins. We'll find them represented with A and D strips and are the foot of our troops. Also can be used to clone units. Coltan, orange resource that allows us to change our strategy moving our units during the movement phase. Crystal, white resource that allows us to buy cards in the market and improve the Ether channeling. Blazon, purple resource that brings us opportunity of saving our units of dying in a combat. Ether. The Ether is not a resource. If we want to get some Ether to win the game, we'll have to dominate and channel it. It's a dangerous area where fighting always takes place. Zones. Here we find the characteristics of each zone, each with its extraction cost, when combat takes place, and maximum capacity of player. Day phases. This is the structure of each day. These phases are followed in that order for all the players. When all the players has made the phase, we follow with the next one until the end of the day. Once the day is over, a new day starts, being the first one the next player in clockwise order. Movement. During this phase, we can move our troops. Paying their own cost, we'll be able to change our situation on the board. Really useful to run away or to hit harder. Market and cloning factory. Two different zones. Market allows us to trade resources. Here we can find the costs of the resources and the either favor cards. Here he finds the costs of cloning a unit. He will have to pay 4 proteins for each unit will clone. In the market and the factory, no combat can take place, but can be dominated by a hero presence. It's available for all the players at the same time, and we only have to place one unit in each of the zones to make the actions. The red mark represents the market and the blue one the cloning factory. Charge represents the species motivation and allows us to use some special ability of our species. We get one when we get our hero ability in a roll. Silos. When attacking a silo, a combat can occur. If the attacker wins, he can steal the resources and even the either of the enemy. Each resource has its own stealing cost. If you are attacking a silo, the player can defend its silo. The result of the attacker is decreased by the defender's roll, and the difference is our stealing value of the attack. The Council. They are what we call mercenaries, neutral powerful units that can be hired to take advantage of their different abilities. They are two associated to each mineral resource of Etheria. They have their own base where they can be hired. Among them we can find Captain. He is a little hero, also creates domination and combat, and it's more powerful than a basic unit. Drone. He doesn't follow the zone's rules, can be placed in any resource zone, regardless of the number of the players. He extracts the number of resources as shown in his role, without fighting and regardless if there is a combat or not. Thief can be only placed in silos, and he'll steal the number of resources of an enemy silo as shown in his role. Cannot steal either and cannot be stopped. Assassin can be placed anywhere unless in the market and the factory. Before resolving a zone where he is present, he throws his dice and kills as many enemy basic units as shown in his role. Defender. It's a powerful defense ally. Can be placed defending our silo and in either zone if we are dominating it. Princess can be only placed in our silo. Before throwing any of our dice, we throw her and we allow us to throw again our basic unit as many times as shown in her role. The Ethereal Favors cards. These cards will provide us with powerful, unique instant effects that can be critical in some situations and can affect all the elements in the game. According to the effect, these cards can have a cost or be free to use. They are a single use. If the effect of the card takes place in the game, you will have to pay its cost in that moment. But if the card is annulled by other card, we will remove the card from the game without paying its cost. Change effects. The Ethereal Favorites cards have a big variety of possible effects. Some of them can annul or cancel the effect of the others. Before playing Ethereal Favor, first we have to declare that we are going to use the card. If no one uses a counter strike, player will pay the cost of the card and the effect will take place. But if someone uses a counter strike, that card will be annulled without entering in game. When playing a card, only one card can be played against it. If the card is annulled, we remove both from the game, but we can also use a counter strike against this annulment. More than one player could be interested in that the effect of the cards takes place or no, so a change effect can take place. Let's explain how this chain of effect works. Player A use either shortcut trying to channel either with crystals. Player B doesn't want that player A use that card, so he uses Mortal Raid, trying to cancel the effect of the card. Player A doesn't want to lose his opportunity, so he uses Colton Raid to annul the player B card. Now player B has to use other card or pay the raid, so he decided to use Crystal Raid, trying to cancel player A raid. Player A doesn't want to pay crystals, so he decided to use annulment to cancel the crystal raid. Now player B doesn't have more cards, so the change effects take place and the counter strike are cancelled. After paying the cost of the last used card, player A is able to use either shortcut, paying one coltan and channeling either with crystals.